Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're diving into the world of hidden treasures as we explore the four most expensive and ultra-rare U.S. coins, including the Susan B. Anthony Silver Dollar, the Sacagawea Gold Dollar, and the Monticello Jefferson Nickel with the rare P mint mark. Even in dirty or worn condition, these seemingly ordinary coins could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars today. So before you spend that old coin, stick around, because you might just be holding a fortune in your hands. First up, the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is one of those mysterious and extraordinary coins that stands as both a piece of American history and a symbol of unimaginable wealth for those fortunate enough to discover one in the right condition. Born during the throes of World War II, this coin carries far more than its 5-cent face value. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, it is part of the legendary wartime silver nickel series, created between 1942 and 1945, when nickel was too precious for the battlefield to be used in coinage. Instead, the government turned to an alloy that included silver, copper, and manganese, producing a coin that gleamed with brilliance and carried with it a story of sacrifice and resilience. The 1944 P is not simply a coin. It is a fragment of the era that helped define America's strength, and today, it has the potential to turn its lucky owner into a millionaire overnight. On the obverse of the coin rests the proud image of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, gazing steadily into the future. His likeness, carved with both precision and dignity, was chosen to embody leadership and enlightenment. Around him are etched the words, "In God we trust and liberty," while the date 1944 confirms its wartime origin. The reverse of the coin is equally iconic, showcasing the Monticello, Jefferson's beloved Virginia state, framed by the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and 5 cents. Above the building rests a powerful P mint mark, identifying Philadelphia as its birthplace. This mint mark is key. Before 1942, Philadelphia coins carried no mark, but for these wartime silver nickels, the P was proudly stamped above Monticello to signify a new era of coinage-born necessity. What makes the 1944 P so valuable is not only its historic context, but also its composition. Unlike ordinary nickels, which were made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, these wartime issues carried 35% silver, a precious metal that instantly gave them intrinsic worth. At the time, Americans saw only a humble 5-cent piece, but today collectors recognize that this silver alloy, combined with the coin's rarity, makes it a treasure of incalculable proportions. In pristine or even moderately preserved condition, the 1944 P can command extraordinary sums, sometimes rising to millions when auctioned under the right spotlight. Errors and striking anomalies elevate this coin into legendary territory. Some 1944 P nickels display double dies, where the lettering or date appears with a ghostly duplication, turning a common strike into an artifact of rarity. Others feature misaligned planchets, off-center strikes, or even unusual toning that transforms a coin's surface into a shimmering canvas of blues, purples, and silvers. These small quirks, once seen as flaws, are now celebrated as unique fingerprints of history. For collectors, finding such a coin is like holding lightning in their hands, a chance discovery that can alter life overnight. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 119 million of these coins in 1944, but sheer numbers do not diminish their mystique. Millions were spent in everyday circulation, wearing down their surfaces, tarnishing their shine, and losing their precision. Very few survived in uncirculated or near-perfect states, and even fewer carry the magical errors or anomalies that drive collectors into bidding wars. It is this scarcity within abundance that makes the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel such a tantalizing object of desire. A coin you may think worthless could in fact be the very one collectors are willing to pay millions to possess. The dirty or worn condition of many surviving 1944 P nickels adds to their allure. While collectors love pristine examples, there is something deeply compelling about a coin that still bears the scars of time, evidence of hands that once used it during the darkest years of war. A dirty nickel from 1944 is not just a piece of silver. It is a relic of sacrifice, rationing, and resilience. Each scratch or tarnish is a whisper from the past, a reminder of the men and women who carried these coins to a world at war. And yet, even in such conditions, these nickels can hold unimaginable value, for rarity and historical significance often outweigh perfection. The story of the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is also a story of America's ingenuity. Faced with global conflict and shortages, the nation adapted, creating a coin that balanced practicality with necessity. The silver nickels were a solution to conserve nickel for armor and weapons, but they also became symbols of patriotism in the pockets of everyday Americans. Today, when we examine one of these coins, we are not merely looking at currency. We are holding history, innovation, and resilience all pressed into a 5-cent piece. Auction houses have seen the magic these coins bring when they surface. A seemingly ordinary nickel, once plucked from a forgotten jar or dusty box, can transform into the centerpiece of collection, fetching sums that defy imagination. Collectors vie for ownership, driven by passion, pride, and the dream of possessing something so rare that its equal may never appear again. In those moments, the 1944 P. nickel ceases to be a coin and becomes a legend, a prize that commands both respect and fortune. For everyday people, the thrill lies in the possibility of discovery. The 1944 P. nickel could be sitting unnoticed in a collection of pocket change, a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. Tales abound of individuals who uncovered one in old drawers, coin rolls, or inherited collections, only to learn that their small find was worth more than their home or their savings. That dream, the chance to become a millionaire overnight with nothing more than a nickel, is what keeps the hunt alive. The craftsmanship of this coin deserves admiration as well. Jefferson's portrait radiates both simplicity and dignity, while Monticello, with his classical lines, is a reminder of America's foundations. This artistry, combined with the silver composition and the wartime mint mark, makes the 1944 P a unique creation, never again repeated in the nation's coinage. Each surviving example is a testament to the artistry and resilience of an era when even the smallest objects carried immense meaning. Collectors often speak of the emotional power of owning such a coin. It is not just about the monetary value, though that alone is staggering. It is about holding a piece of America's journey, a symbol of courage during war and prosperity after it. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel represents the triumph of adaptation, the endurance of a nation, and the mystery of rarity. For those who possess it, it is more than a coin. It is a key to history and fortune, a gateway to unimaginable wealth and recognition. Above all, the 1944 P. nickel reminds us that fortune often hides in the smallest, most overlooked places. A simple coin, forgotten in circulation, can hold the power to change lives. To sell it cheaply or discard would be to abandon fortune, but to recognize its value is to unlock destiny itself. It is not merely a nickel. It is a treasure, a talisman of America's past, and perhaps the very key to becoming a billionaire overnight. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel stands as one of the most remarkable coins in the entire history of American currency, a relic born in a time when the world was engulfed in flames of war and every resource mattered. This coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, carried with it not only the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson and his beloved Monticello estate, but also a story of sacrifice, ingenuity, and the spirit of a nation determined to persevere. Unlike earlier issues, the 1943 P bore a secret lock within its metal. Its shimmering alloy was not the ordinary nickel and copper composition, but a unique wartime mixture that contained 35% silver. At a time when nickel was desperately needed to forge armor, tanks, and weapons, the U.S. Mint substituted silver, giving birth to a coin that was destined to become a legend. Today, this coin is not just worth a few cents. It holds the power to change fortunes overnight, with rare examples selling for unimaginable sums in the millions. The front of the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is dominated by the portrait of Jefferson, whose steady gaze looks outward with resolve. His profile, surrounded by the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," seem to embody the values of an America at war, fighting not just for itself but for the future of democracy. The reverse, displaying Monticello with its neoclassical symmetry, carried another subtle but monumental feature: the oversized P mint mark, placed boldly above the dome. For the first time in history, Philadelphia coins carried this mark, a proud symbol that these pieces were not merely currency but wartime artifacts. Every coin struck in this series was a message of unity, sacrifice, and perseverance in the face of global darkness. What makes the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel so valuable today is not simply its age or its silver content, but the rare errors, anomalies, and survival conditions that elevate it into the realm of treasures. Some coins were struck with double dies, where the inscriptions or the year itself appear slightly duplicated, giving them a ghostly, otherworldly effect. Others reveal striking mistakes, such as off-center strikes or planchet flaws, quirks that were once considered flaws but now are the very characteristics collectors chase with obsession. Each such rarity transforms a humble wartime nickel into a king among coins, commanding astronomical sums in auctions and private sales. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 271 million of these coins in 1943, and yet most were spent handled and worn down until their details faded into obscurity. The dirty condition in which many of these coins are found today only adds to their mystique, for every tarnished scratch and stain is a testament to the hands that once held them during rationing, blackouts, and moments of national sacrifice. In the eyes of collectors, a dirty 1943 P. nickel is not simply worn. It is scarred with history, holding within its patina the echoes of the Second World War. And within that where may lie the difference between a common piece and one worth millions, depending on the detail of the strike and the presence of those fabled errors. Silver itself adds another layer to this coin's value. During the war, Americans may not have noticed that their nickels were different, but today, the silver content gives them a base worth far beyond 5 cents. However, it is not just a metal that collectors seek. It is a history embedded in the coin. To hold a 1943 P. nickel is to hold a piece of America's wartime ingenuity, a coin that represents how even small changes could contribute to a larger victory. And because of their silver alloy, these coins also age differently, often taking on unique tones of blue, green, and violet that make each surviving example a small masterpiece of natural art. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel also carries a tale of chance, for many were lost, destroyed, or forgotten. Families who once saved them in jars or tucked them away in drawers unknowingly preserved treasures that today might bring life-changing wealth. Countless stories exist of people discovering one of these coins in old change boxes or inherited collections, only to realize that what they thought was a tarnished 5-cent piece was in fact worth a fortune. It is this dream, the dream of finding unimaginable wealth in the most ordinary of places, that makes the 1943 P. nickel a coin of destiny. Auction houses have witnessed the frenzy these coins create when they appear on the block. Collectors battle fiercely, each bid climbing higher, driven not just by the coin's rarity, but by its story, its silver, and its errors. When an exceptional example with strong strikes, minimal wear, or dramatic doubling appears, it is no longer just a nickel. It becomes a centerpiece of collection, commanding sums that can rival the price of estates or luxury cars. In those moments, the 1943 P. nickel is transformed into a gateway of fortune, a tiny disc of silver capable of rewriting lives. But beyond wealth, the coin carries immense symbolic power. It represents a moment when every American was asked to sacrifice, when even small coins were altered to meet the demands of war. To own such a piece is to own a physical connection to that era, a reminder of resilience and a unity of purpose that defined a nation. Each coin is more than money. It is a story of courage, ingenuity, and victory pressed into silver. For those lucky enough to find one, the 1943 P. nickel offers a choice: to sell it cheaply and lose a chance of a lifetime, or to recognize its power and preserve it as a treasure. Many who fail to see its potential pass it off as ordinary, unaware that they hold a key to unimaginable fortune. But those who know understand that this nickel is no mere coin. It is a fortune disguised as pocket change, waiting for the right person to realize its true worth. Its artistry cannot be overlooked. Jefferson's dignified portrait radiates wisdom, while Monticello's classical lines echo the enduring ideals of democracy. Combined with the unusual P. mint mark and the silver composition, the 1943 P. nickel stand apart from all other nickels ever minted. It is a unique creation, a temporary but powerful departure from tradition, making it one of the most distinctive coins in U.S. history. In the world of coin collecting, the 1943 P nickel remains a cornerstone, a prize every serious collector dreams of owning. Its rarity, history, and potential value combine to form an irresistible allure. Even in tarnished or dirty condition, it has the power to inspire awe, for its significance transcends its appearance. Whether gleaming or scarred, pristine or worn, the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is a coin that carries the weight of history and the promise of fortune. Ultimately, this coin is proof that true value is not always obvious. Hidden in a jar of change, overlooked in an attic, or forgotten in circulation, a fortune may rest quietly, waiting to be recognized. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is that fortune, a coin with the power to transform lives, to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and to remind us that sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest treasures. Next up, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, struck with a P mint mark of Philadelphia, is one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in the long story of American money. It was born out of a bold experiment, a time when the United States sought to reduce the size of its circulating dollar coin and make it more practical for everyday use. Up until that point, the Eisenhower dollar had been large and heavy, often rejected by the public for daily transactions. In response, the Mint introduced a smaller, round dollar in 1979, featuring the portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the legendary suffragist whose tireless efforts helped secure women the right to vote. Though the coin was intended as a modern solution, its journey through history has turned it into an artifact of rarity, with certain examples holding values so unimaginable that they can make fortunes overnight. The obverse of this coin carries a stern but inspiring image of Susan B. Anthony, her profile facing right, surrounded by the word liberty and the phrase, "In God we trust." Unlike previous coins, which often bore the visages of presidents and statesmen, this coin honored a woman who fought for justice and equality. It was a revolutionary choice for its time, and though not initially appreciated by the public, collectors today recognize the coin's historical weight. The reverse side continues the patriotic theme, showing the Apollo 11 insignia, an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, commemorating America's greatest technological achievement. Around the eagle are 13 stars, a reminder of the country's earliest days and enduring spirit. At first glance, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar may seem ordinary, but hidden within its series are coins that can transform lives. Some possess double dies, striking errors, or planchet anomalies that catapult them far beyond their face value. Others exist in unusually well-preserved condition, untouched by circulation, their luster shimmering like newly struck silver. The rarest of these pieces are treasures, commanding prices in the millions when presented at auctions or sold to eager collectors who understand their historical and numismatic significance. Even in dirty condition, the coin can tell stories of hands it passed through, decades of circulation, and the silent journey of history etched into its worn surfaces. The Philadelphia Mint, where this particular coin was produced, created hundreds of millions of Susan B. Anthony dollars in 1979. Yet, the survival of pristine or error-marked examples is surprisingly low. The public often mistook these coins or quarters due to their smaller size and similar reeded edges, causing many to be overlooked, mishandled, or lost in the shuffle of commerce. Over time, the coin became a symbol of rejection, a misunderstood piece that failed in daily life but triumphed in the world of collectors. Those who study coins now recognize that this failure was in fact a spark of uniqueness, a coin that carried innovation and history in every strike. Adding to its allure is a belief that some 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars may have been struck on planchets not intended for them, such as silver-clad blanks left over from earlier dollar issues. If such a piece were to appear, it would instantly become one of the most valuable coins in existence, worth millions to those who crave the rarest of treasures. Stories circulate of people finding these in drawers, in dirty condition, mistaken for ordinary money, only to discover that they were sitting on a life-changing fortune. This possibility alone makes every 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar worth examining carefully, for its secrets are not always visible at first glance. Collectors also seek out the so-called wide-rim variety from 1979, in which the date sits closer to the edge of the coin, compared to the standard issue. These wide rim pieces, especially in high grades, can command extraordinary sums. Paired with other minting anomalies, their value multiplies, transforming a once-discarded coin into a legend. This is why no one should ever dismiss a 1979 P dollar as common. Within its small silver-toned surface may lie the power to alter destiny. Even coins found in dirty condition can carry staggering value. Dirt and tarnish often mask details that, when carefully restored or identified, reveal the rare features that separate an ordinary dollar from a priceless one. What looks like a smudged, worn coin can in reality be a double die obverse, a planchet error, or a wide rim variety. Collectors and experts understand that fortune hides beneath the surface, waiting to be revealed to the person wise enough to look beyond appearances. The Susan B. Anthony dollar also symbolizes something greater than monetary worth. It embodies the legacy of a woman who defied the odds, who refused to accept inequality, and who became a voice for millions silenced by the laws of her time. To carry such a coin, especially one with rare anomalies, is to carry a part of that story, a piece of history that speaks not only of wealth but of justice, determination, and progress. This is why collectors hold the 1979 P dollar with reverence, not just as money but as a symbol. When these coins appear at auctions, the excitement is palpable. A seemingly simple piece of change can ignite bidding wars, with values climbing into the unimaginable. Each collector knows that owning such a piece is not just about wealth, but about holding a treasure that combines artistry, history, and rarity. Stories abound of bidders competing fiercely for a single coin, unwilling to let go of the chance to possess a relic that could cement their place in numismatic history. The artistry of the coin is also noteworthy. The bold lines of Susan B. Anthony's profile, combined with the delicate feathers of the lunar eagle, create a contrast of strength and grace. In dirty or worn condition, these details may fade, yet the essence of design always remains. It is a coin that blends the struggle for human rights with the triumph of technological achievement, uniting past and future in a single small disc of metal. In the world of collecting, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar has achieved a paradoxical fame. Once rejected by the public, it has become one of the most discussed, debated, and desired coins of its era. Its rarity, its varieties, and its unexpected treasures elevate it far beyond its intended purpose. It is a coin that, when understood, can transform from a humble piece of pocket change into a priceless artifact. To own a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is to hold in your hand the potential for unimaginable fortune. It is a reminder that destiny often hides in the smallest places, in a drawer, a pocket, or a forgotten coin jar. This coin, dismissed by many, holds the power to make someone a billionaire overnight. It is proof that history, when preserved in metal, can transcend time, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary, and forgotten into the unforgettable. Next up, the Sacagawea dollar of the year 2000, struck with the bold D mint mark of Denver, is one of the most fascinating modern coins in American history. This small golden dollar carries with the spirit of exploration, resilience, and mystery, for its design pays tribute to Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who guided Lewis and Clark on their expedition to the uncharted wilderness of the early United States. At first glance, the coin may seem like just another dollar token, light in weight and golden in color, but the truth runs far deeper. In reality, certain examples of the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar, especially those with unusual conditions, striking errors, or strange finishes, are considered priceless by collectors, capable of reaching values in the millions in today's frenzied coin market. When first released in 2000, the Sacagawea dollar was intended to replace the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had been unpopular with the public. Unlike its predecessor, the Sacagawea dollar was designed with a warm golden hue, a manganese brass alloy that made it stand out from quarters and other smaller denominations. On the obverse, Glenna Goodacre's portrait of Sacagawea is both serene and commanding. With her infant son Jean-Baptiste tied securely on her back, she gazes into the future, representing not only her role in guiding explorers, but also the promise of new frontiers for the nation. On the reverse, the soaring eagle symbolizes freedom and boundless possibility, its wings spread wide over 13 stars. While millions of Sacagawea dollars were produced for circulation, few realized that certain 2000D issues contained mysteries of staggering value. Some coins were struck with unusual planchets, their golden surface possessing a rare, proof-like finish that gleamed unlike any others. Others were born with double-struck features, rotated dies, or off-center designs, quirks of the minting process that transformed them from ordinary money into numismatic marvels. In dirty or circulated condition, they may look unimpressive at first, yet hidden within their scratches and tarnish could lie the details that make the difference between a dollar and a life-changing fortune. One of the most famous discoveries tied to the Sacagawea dollar is the legendary Cheerios dollar. Before the coin was officially released, the mint distributed a limited number of 2,000 dated Sacagawea dollars in boxes of Cheerios cereal as a promotion. Some of these coins had an enhanced eagle design on the reverse, with detailed tail feathers distinct from the standard issue. These rare coins, many originating from the Denver Mint, later sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and collectors now believe that their true market value could soar into the millions if one were to appear in pristine condition today. The Denver Mint mark itself adds to the coin story. The Denver Mint has long been associated with experimentation, producing countless varieties and errors over the decades. In 2000, as the Sacagawea dollar made its debut, the sheer volume of coins produced left plenty of room for anomalies. This means the 2000D dollar is fertile ground for discoveries that the average collector might overlook. Imagine pulling a dirty Sacagawea coin from a drawer, only to realize it contains a rare die error or the famed Cheerios reverse. Such a find could instantly change someone's life, making them a millionaire overnight. The golden appearance of the Sacagawea dollar also adds to its allure. Though not composed of real gold, the warm hue gives a regal and timeless presence, often mistaken by the untrained eye as something far more valuable. In circulated condition, the coin may develop a darker tone, the so-called dirty condition that many might dismiss as ordinary wear. But in the numismatic world, this patina often hides treasures. Collectors cherish even worn examples if they carry unique markers, misstrikes, or other traits that elevate them above their ordinary brothers. What makes the 2000D Sacagawea dollar so valuable in today's market is not just rarity, but symbolism. It represents the beginning of a new millennium and carries with the spirit of an America stepping forward into uncharted futures, much as Sacagawea herself once guided explorers into unknown lands. For this reason, the coin resonates deeply with both history enthusiasts and collectors, bridging the gap between art, history, and treasure. Auction houses and private sales have already proven how high the value of these coins can climb. Some 2000D Sacagawea dollars with unique conditions have fetched staggering sums, shocking even seasoned numismatists. Collectors compete fiercely for these pieces because they know that their rarity, combined with their historical importance, ensures their value will only grow over time. A coin once dismissed as everyday change can, under the right circumstances, become a multi-million-dollar artifact. Consider the emotional impact of holding such a coin. You could be holding what looks like a simple, dirty, golden dollar, unaware that it might possess hidden features or a legendary pedigree. That realization that an object so ordinary in appearance could contain unimaginable wealth creates a thrill unmatched by any other form of collecting. It is the kind of discovery that can rewrite fortunes, turning an overlooked trinket into a priceless treasure. The Sacagawea dollar also carries cultural and symbolic weight beyond its monetary value. By honoring a Native American woman on U.S. coinage, it marked a significant step forward in acknowledging voices and figures long overlooked in American history. Owning a rare 2000D Sacagawea dollar is not just about wealth. It is about holding a piece of progress, a coin that speaks of courage, perseverance, and the opening of new pathways. In today's market, the allure of the 2000D Sacagawea dollar is undeniable. Collectors scour coin rolls, antique shops, and old collections, hoping to uncover one of these elusive treasures. Stories circulate of coins being found in forgotten jars, dusty drawers, or inherited estates, their owners blissfully unaware of the life-changing power in their hands. Every collector dreams of being the one to make such a discovery, to go from ordinary to extraordinary in a single heartbeat. Ultimately, the 2000D Sacagawea dollar stands as proof that greatness can hide in plain sight. its dirty surface, its simple golden shine, and its often overlooked design conceal the possibility of unimaginable wealth. It is a coin that whispers promises of fortune to those who dare to look closely, a coin that has the power to transform the lives of those fortunate enough to possess it. If you ever come across one, do not spend it casually, for within that small round disc lies the power to change your destiny overnight.